A degree in watchmaking earned not in a store, but in a classroom at Paris Junior College right here in Texas. It's been going on there for 75 years. And tonight, we're meeting a student from Richardson who's taking the courses and has a heartfelt connection to that craft. A timepiece quietly marks the moments and how quickly they can pass.
The watch holder, it holds the watch in place.
At Paris Junior College, the youngest in this room of future watchmakers and fixers, said he's trying really hard not to mess up right now.
Yeah, like the tiniest screw, like tinier than like a breadcrumb. Yeah, it's very difficult and you gotta watch out for them because like if you drop them on the floor, then yeah, spend hours finding it. Yeah.
Vincent, too. He's learning how to take a watch apart, clean it, and put it back together.
It just feels like a puzzle piece. Every time, just figure out which piece goes where.
He's learning this craft as a way to spend time with his father.
My dad was a watchmaker, and he started learning when he was 12, working in the shop in Vietnam.
He came to the U.S. in the 90s and continued to inspire his son.
When I grew up, I realized that, wow, my dad, I really like what my dad's doing.
When Vincent was a freshman in high school, his father was diagnosed with cancer. Then his senior year,
I heard like he's going to a hospice. That's when I realized that he's not going to make it. So I try to spend as much time as I can. Sorry.
Vincent's dad passed away last September.
Yeah.
He's now training to continue his father's legacy, and practicing his craft helps him feel his father's presence.
Every time I do a watch, I feel really close to him. Like he was there, like it's like, you know, he's looking at me make sure I'm doing it right or not.
For Vincent, a timepiece doesn't mark the moments lost. Instead, it keeps the most important ones close.
Yeah, and I just want to be like him.
Such a sweet young man. I asked Vincent what advice he thinks his father would give him. He said to be patient and try not to lose any parts. Vincent grew up in Richardson, and it's important to note that we learned about Vincent's passion for watchmaking because he earned a Hendrick Scholarship, which honors students who've overcome adversity. Have you ever felt like there was something you were supposed to do? You didn't know why, but you just knew you were supposed to do it? Well, that's the case with artist Tim Hogan. And now, after decades of preparation, he has figured out his calling, and his work is nearly complete. Michelangelo talked about seeing an angel in the marble.
Let's see, I got it.
He just had to carve it out. For artist Tim Hogan, he too can often see a finished piece long before he starts creating it.
After a while, it's just like second nature. You don't have to think about it, it's just doing it.
His medium to do so.
But there's a real pretty piece here.
Is wood being born again.
What do you see when you look at a piece of wood?
Tim sees potential. He used wood to build this log cabin art studio, where inside he built a giant frame and then covered it with color.
Classical music does something while I'm painting. I'm not a composer, but I am a composer of wood and paint.
When Tim was a teenager, he said this project came to him in a vision.
This painting sat dormant, but I saw it in my mind's eye, but I knew it had to be painted. Get a couple of deals here, and really need a little rib.
He finally started working on it 5 years ago.
I was 55 at the time, and I'm 60 now, and here it is.
Looking at the detail he put into it, he needed every minute of the last 5 years.
The dimensions are approximately 9 foot wide by 11 foot, almost 12 foot tall. And the two carvings are life size.
From the wolf, closely watching the lambs.
He's a pecan tree that was carved.
To the wood, doubling as a messenger.
130 names of Jesus carved into the frame. Interior, exterior.
Every square inch.
And it's a shadow of the cross.
Has a spiritual purpose.
The cloudy night is because all of mankind carries so much baggage, but the light of God shines through. Oh, and now there you go. Oh, I love painting clouds.
Tim hasn't always been so well versed in Christianity.
My life was a seat of the pants, moment by moment, drinking, craziness, insanity.
But everything changed after he started studying the gospel.
A week after I was baptized, I stood in the pulpit of a church and I said I found it.
He found a rock
Yeah.
to base his life around.
And it says from the scripture,
And he also found the meaning behind this vision.
and an angel of the Lord stood before them.
His painting is of the proclamation of Jesus' birth.
So this was something that was very special, and I just wanted as an artist to take a shot at depicting something that was amazing.
He doesn't have plans for it. He just knew he was supposed to paint it.
This thing is about faith, and so it's kind of like whatever we do, we just put in his hands and say, use the talents and skills and abilities that I have, and I give them to you.
When it's finally finished, he'll have to use those carving skills once again to get the painting out of his studio.
I'll have to cut the wall and take the wall out.
But after 5 years of work and a lifetime of preparation, what's one more day?
I really wanted this to be something special because it's for his glory.
And it's his offering to God.
That's pretty cool.
And such a nice guy. It was so fun getting to spend mostly a day with them. Well, on the back of the canvas, people wrote messages of love and faith and prayed that anyone who sees his art piece will be blessed.
5 years, and here's what I can't wrap my head around. Tim has no plans for this painting, but if you have an idea, be sure to let him know. We've posted a link along with this story online at NBC-DFW.com.
New at 10, 1 year ago today, a woman named Dominique Tillis lay on an operating table as doctors worked to keep her alive. It was her birthday, and tonight she is grateful to be celebrating another one. A car accident last year forced her and her family to go through some unimaginable struggles, both health and financial. But she continues to count her blessings, and that includes a new friendship that changed the course of Dominique's life.
You want to try driving?
It's been more than a year since the car accident
I try.
that took her body's ability to move.
So how are you driving this? With my chin.
But that accident
Oh yeah.
did not take Dominique's spirit.
You see I'm going straight?
Yeah, you're doing it.
So I just talk to God all the time and try to stay positive.
She said it's her 5 children who keep her going.
Oh, they the world to me. They keep me wanting to live and keep me wanting to fight to get better.
So you're already tilted. That's good.
But a lack of money and medical care delayed her rehabilitation. That was until she met
I had no idea.
Nurse Brindy Kirkland. She normally treats cancer patients,
And you told me your headache's a 5, right?
but hospital overflow landed Dominique in her care,
Good?
and their friendship began immediately.
But I always say she's my sister from God. Yeah.
I first took care of Dominique October 5th, and she just, her spirit, okay, Kat.
Yeah, get them nice shoes there.
So I just noticed that she always smiled. She was always thankful, she was always appreciative, and the more I learned about her story, this is just gonna have to happen. The more I realized that she had so much to be angry for, but there wasn't an angry bone in her body.
Determined to help her, Brindy posted on Facebook, pledging to change the course of Dominique's life and asking others to help her do it.
And I just knew that the voice inside me said, you have to do something.
Brindy started immediately by being Dominique's advocate, finding her a better medical bed to help heal her bed sores, and finally getting her a wheelchair after a year without one.
She definitely gets stuff going.
But it wasn't enough for Brindy.
And I said, you know, there's a family out there that could buy a house and a car for her, and literally it wouldn't touch their checkbook. But it's so hard to find that kind of a giving spirit. And literally a week later I called her and I said, he just showed up.
He is a man named Bill. pictured here with Dominique the first time they met.
He acted like he already knew me.
Bill's daughter, Katie.
My dad is the kind of guy that you hear stories about. Like you hear, oh my gosh, I can't believe someone would be so generous in everything that he does. Like he thinks of things that are not being asked of him, but just ways to make someone's life just a little bit better.
The first big gift that Dominique received from Bill and his family is this customized Suburban. It was made to fit her wheelchair, her 5 children, and her mom, who moved in to help take care of their family of 7, all living in a 2-bedroom apartment.
When my dad called me after Brendy and I spoke, and he goes, let's find them a house. And I was like, you are out of your mind. But when he says that, he means it. And so I'm a realtor, and I immediately started looking that evening for houses. And this was the first day we had spoken with Brendy.
Within weeks, this house was purchased and gutted. A group from Brendy's church called the Hope Team remodeled the entire home in less than a month and at no cost.
God has been so like, do not give up. I will put the people in the path that need to be there.
The morning of the reveal,
1 minute.
a crowd of friends, family, and volunteers welcomed Dominique and her family to their new home.
Okay, where do you want to go first? Your room?
Yes.
Okay.
This is her first time seeing it.
The tree is in my room.
Mama, look.
It's the biggest in the house, with space for everyone.
Absolutely gorgeous.
And for her children.
I'm used to living in an apartment, now we live in a house, so it's like better.
The best surprise for them?
No, I didn't know. I thought we had to share there.
For the first time, they all get their own.
Who decorated it? You did.
We did. I told you.
Oh my God.
I think God always.
God,
This is Bill, y'all.
working through some dedicated servants.
Hey.
Did we do good?
Yes.
What's your favorite?
My room.
What amazes me is, people are like, oh my God, you're such a blessing to her. But when you do something like this, the blessing comes back.
She followed her faith, and it formed a lifelong friendship. And thanks to the help of these volunteers, this dedicated trio did what Brendy pledged to do. They changed the course of Dominique's life.
It's definitely a blessing.
So many incredible people. Now, this project inspired Brendy, Bill, and Katie to start a nonprofit called Anonymous Angels to continue blessing others in various ways.
If you'd like to help them, or if you'd like to help Dominique and her family, we've got all the details you need at NBC-DFW.com.